You actually know that on average, a family in the United States for one child spends somewhere between $230,000 to $250,000 until the age of 17. And this is not including pregnancy costs, medical bills, delivery costs, childcare like daycare, or anything in between that comes up. This is just for raising a child alone. And yeah. Hey everybody, welcome back to From Chai to Cheerios. I'm Kriti.
This is Rahul.
People say, our grandmother did this, our mother did that, but do they talk about the health issues that they faced? Do they talk about the family issues that they faced? Did they talk about the postpartum phase? Did they talk about, the health complications that they're facing today? Like your mother, she has severe knee problems. Because why? Because right after she gave birth, she used to walk for kilometers just to maintain her job. And that's a time when a woman needs very heavy nutrition, very heavy care. And our bodies give so much during childbirth, during pregnancy, postpartum, that it needs time to regulate. And our grandmothers and mothers did not have time for that. And because of that, they're suffering today.
Yep.
Nobody talks about that. Nobody. And I think that's a major point as well, that, in parenting and raising your kids abroad, 3 things come into play that are very important. One is finances, 100% finances. Even if you're a single income household and you choose to have kids, great, that's your choice. And you're doing a great job, whoever is raising out there. We know a lot of people who are single income households and they're doing amazing with their kids. And I commend them every day. However, they do suffer financially. They do go through their challenges, and they do end up, having problems that they don't talk about with everyone else. And then the second thing is physical capability. Nobody talks about the physical aspects that come for the mother during pregnancy, childbirth, and during postpartum, and throughout her life, up until menopause and even death. They don't talk about the men's health that comes. A lot of people don't know the decline of quality of men's health that comes through, and the reason why there's so many rises in cases for prostate cancer, because of the fact that they don't get enough nutrients as well post the baby, because of all the stress of raising the baby. The third aspect is mental health, and mental health is a very big factor when it comes to raising children, because if you show good quality of your mental health, and good mental health and taking care of your mental health displays very positive things for your children as they grow up. And seeing you in a healthy state of mind and body helps them understand healthy boundaries, healthy relationships, healthy households, or whatever it may be. There might be some struggles here and there. It's not going to be perfect, but those are the 3 main things that you need to focus on to be able to raise a child. And without these 3, and I say this from a very strong point, without these 3 or any of these 3, it's going to be very hard to shape your child's future in a way where, they're in a good position to take on whatever they need to down the line. I think I mentioned that a lot of the current generation is scared of commitment because of families that suffered from one or all 3 of these factors. Right? It's not as simple as just, we'll do our job and we'll earn money and that's it. We don't need to raise our kids. It's not that.
They say it like this actually. So if you look at a child's mindset over there, everything that happens around him, he learns from that.
Yeah.
So even if he's going to daycare, even if he's going to school, even if he's going to a playground, wherever he goes, let's say, he grabs the information from them. He's pretty much a receiver actually.
Yes.
So the kid is like grabbing all the informations. So let's say if in a given household, let's say if a mother is suffering with, let's say, postpartum, or if she's having like suicidal tendencies, and if she's screaming, shouting, all those stuff happening in her body because of hormonal changes and all those stuff, let's say the kid doesn't know all these things. All he sees is the screaming, the shouting,
Yes.
the yelling.
Yes.
But apparently we might think, what, this guy don't remember anything, he's just a kid, right? But what happens is that kind of memory is going to sit in his head, and it's going to haunt him for a long time actually. And whenever he, even if he's grown up over there, let's say, whenever he listens someone screaming or someone is yelling actually over there, he gets back to that kind of tendency of when he had that bad dream or bad memory kind of situation. So having kids means that you should be able to provide a healthy environment for them.
Yeah.
If you're unable to provide a healthy environment for the kid, it's like you're raising a bad person and throwing on the society. Unfortunately, he might be a good person, but the thing is that the circumstances might turn this kid into a bad person.
Yes.
And at least the parent should not be the one who is going to turn them into a bad person. So the parent should be the last people who should do that actually. But unfortunately, if the house is wreck or something like this, that's the first place where he sees all those stuff.
Yeah, and I think that's a really good point. And right when a couple starts their journey into marriage and commitment, the very first question is like, what's next? So it's like, when are you having kids, or start having kids? I think that pressure came to us very early on, because immediately after we were married, we were apart for a couple years. Like, I was traveling back and forth to you to visit, and then there was a point in time where we were in India for some time, and we were dependent on our parents for a little bit, and we were not financially stable. Even though I was working, we were not financially stable, because everything used to go to either plane tickets or expenses and things like that. And so at that time, in that time gap, for people to say, oh, you had this amount of time, you should have just had kids in this gap, that to me was mind-blowing. Because we were not in a position. Yes, we may have had both our parents available, and yes, it may have been convenient for them, but for us it would have been hell and back, because of the journey that we had after that, having to come here and start from scratch, because I was living in someone else's home until then. Like, when I was here, and before I used to travel here and there, I used to live with your sister, right? It's not like I had a place of my own. We did not have a place of our own until we came here, and a couple months in. And that too, it happened because of unforeseen circumstances. Otherwise, we would have probably lived with your sister for some time. But just until we had enough money to kind of go out on our own until then. But imagine having a child in that position, in that circumstance. That would have been so difficult. And I see some of our friends and family too who are going through similar phases where either they're having difficulty with like the job situation, where one of them is financially independent, one of them isn't, one of them is working or one of them isn't, and they're traveling all over the place because their job changes contract every few months.
You were in a situation, right? I mean, when you guys moved to US, actually, you were kids, and your parents are traveling all over the place, and
absolutely,
you have seen like all sort of situations, like good, bad. Sometimes the time when you showed me like the one of the houses that you used to live, I asked like, how did you guys even live here, So it's not like the kids are not going to survive and stuff actually. But again, that's the point I'm trying to say. So it's the conditions that you give for the kid.
Yes.
It's not like every couple has very nice house, very nice atmosphere.
Yes.
all those things. No, it won't happen. I mean, people still live in like one single bedroom apartment, condos, and all those stuff. That's not a problem. But the thing is that at least they should have some stable lifestyle. If they're living in like Florida, yeah, let them be in Florida. If they're living in India, let them be in India. Things like this. At least they should have some stable education environment, stable ecosystem, stable food, stable stuff, and everything. And if you constantly move the kids here and there, and obviously when you're moving, you will be having lots of hell lot of problems in your head, let's say, and you just keep on discussing all those things in the front of the kid, and the kid grabs all this information, and that's what I'm saying. They'll be disturbed.
Yeah.
So again, like it's not like a rocket science, or it's not like people did not raise kids in this world and stuff.
Yeah.
But the question is, whenever you see some things happening around the world with bad elements and stuff, we always think that, oh, you know what, maybe his parents did not raise him right, or maybe he did not. Yeah.
That's the very first thing they say.
Yeah, when they say that, actually, over there, maybe they never know what their parents went through, and what this kid went through, and why this kid is turning out to be a XYZ element over there, let's say. So this all comes into play when you're raising a kid, when you're thinking about like stuff and everything comes with a dollar bill, right?
Yes.
So the cost factor, I mean, if you want to raise a kid in a good way, I mean, let's say, for example, the scenario that we went through, right? If we have to keep our kid in a daycare, the first daycare that we saw is kind of like a cheaper daycare, I can say. It's not that cost effective and stuff, but the rooms are like pretty, like, squeezed in, and every kid is going everywhere, let's say, and there is no borders and all these things. And how the daycare system works.
Yes.
And the first daycare I saw I thought like it's going to be like the same for all the daycares.
Yes.
But when we went like little high price actually over there, the quality of things is different. The quality of hygiene is different and stuff. So again, this all comes to dollar bills. The more you spend on the kid, the more ecosystem that you are going to get, the beautiful ecosystem that you're going to give your kid, and the kid is going to get exposed to good stuff, and eventually he will be turning out to be like better person.
I think I want to correct your statement there and say, like, it's not about the more you spend, the more quality life they have. The more stability you have gives them a better quality in life. It doesn't, like, for example, I've seen people where they went to like a lower quality daycare and they thrived, but again, it all adds up later, in other ways. The bills add up in other ways. Like, for example, there might not be a lot of health conscious stable environments and such daycare, so you don't know how things might turn out. But I think I want to say that here a lot of people just don't know, especially like people in India, back in India, if they're very easy to say, oh, you can raise a child. Like, it's not easy in India either right now. It's very expensive to not only raise a child, but send them to school too, because education costs a lot. And the fees I paid for my engineering is the fees that we're paying for like preschool or like first grade, second grade kid. And that to me is, I'm speechless. I'm speechless because why is it that much? First thing, are you maintaining quality of school? If yes, then okay, great. But again, it costs money to have a child. And I think there's a great movie, I think it's called Janaka Ete Ganaka. I loved how they explained his mindset. Like, it's not just like, oh, I don't want to have kids because it's going to get in between me and my wife. It's not that concept. He explains, like, the way he sits his father down, and he's like, so this is the cost of, delivery, pregnancy, medical fees, bills and medical bills, vaccinations, education, college, and housing and tuition. And he breaks the cost down in average. And he says it's like 1 to 2 crores, which is around 100 to 200K around here. So that was so amazing to me that they actually addressed that in a film. And I think that is what reality is today, is that without a support system, without proper resources, without financial stability, it is very difficult to raise a child here. Mm-hmm. And you need to be very well equipped. So this support part, we're not going to get 100% here anyways, right? So the only thing that we can rely on is childcare, or one of us has to lose our job and we have to take care of the kid full time, which again is still a difficult phase. You still have to go through challenges there. So it's that, and then you have to focus on these other three: finance, mental health, physical health, which also cost money. It's not just an easy come and go system. It's not an easy breezy, lemon squeezy kind of situation there. And I think that reality is missing in a lot of people, and that they think, oh, they're roaming in cars, they're living in a house with air conditioning, they're living in lavish homes and apartments, they're doing fine, they can raise a child like that. No, it's not as simple as that. And as people who have had little to no support through our journey, going through so many things that people don't know that we've went through, I think that caused a lot of pressure on our side because of that. Like, the time where we started to get financial stability was around COVID, and that was such a headache back then because it was the pandemic. And okay, right, we're in the pandemic, people did give birth during pandemics, and they're doing well, but at that time I was going through a major health shift. People didn't know that. Nobody, I think whoever I'm very close to knows what we've been through, but not a lot of people know the intensity that it was, because we had to battle through it alone. You had to take me to the emergency room at 3 a.m.
Yep.
in the morning, and I was in the ICU for a week. I almost died. Nobody knows about that. And for me to come from that to a normal state with my health took 2 to 3 years.
Yep.
And that wasn't an easy journey. Nobody knows that. And in that time, the pressure of having kids was so much that even we gave in. Even we both started to feel like, oh, everyone's having kids and we're not. Why? And then we kept stressing out about what is wrong with us. That's the one thing that we started to feel. And I think that hurt us and our relationship as well at that point in time. We were going through a very rough patch. And it took a while for us to kind of understand that no matter what we do, no matter what we say, no matter how hard we try, things will come in good timing. And society will say whatever they want, right? Society will, for example, society pressures women to get married. Once women are married, they pressure women to have kids, or couples to have kids. If they have kids, they pressure to have a second kid. And then they pressure them to send them to good schools, good colleges, and then get them married. And then the other circle starts in their end.
Yep.
It's a never-ending process. So my key point that I learned, screw society. Screw them. Parents, they might be they might have concerns. They might be thinking, oh, this will complete their family and they'll be happy, and that their problems will seem very small because of the child. Maybe because you're so focused on that child, but also the guilt that you're not able to provide to that child enough will also eat you alive.
And on that point, actually, over there, so when parents say that you can have kids, and you people fight for the kids rather than fighting in between you and stuff.
Yeah,
that is right. That is totally right. But the thing is that having kids is not going to remove all your health problems.
Yes.
Having kids is not going to reset your mind, because
Yeah.
it's not like a reset mechanism or something
Yeah.
like this. And having kids doesn't solve all your financial and medical issues and everything.
Yeah.
So it is just like a tape fix, right? That's what they call it. So if there is a problem, they keep a tape, and it's done. Okay,
Yeah.
fine. But eventually the pressure will increase from the inside, and the tape will obviously burst out, and the
Yeah.
pipe will burst out, right?
Yeah.
So don't ever do a tape fix on things, especially your relationships.
Mm-hmm.
If there's a problem, talk to your partner. If there's an issue, talk to your partner. And don't ever do a tape fix. And for me, having a kids is kind of a tape fix, actually, that they decided to do. You know what? These both are fighting. Let them have a kid, and they fight for the kid. No.
No.
Eventually, they still fight.
They do.
But the worst part is they still fight in the front of the kid.
Yeah, and sometimes we do have our moments as well,
Yeah.
but we do realize that he's there, and then we're kind of in a mindset where we understand where we're going wrong, which is good because we're in the generation that does that.
Mm-hmm.
But not everyone has the same mindset.
Exactly. Even that will calm down for a certain time. We think like, okay, there's a kid, we don't need to fight. Yeah, sure. But the burst out, the whole feelings and blah blah blah, whatever that is
Yeah.
going on inside, they won't go away.
Yeah.
Eventually they'll come back today, tomorrow, day after. They will come up for sure. So
Yeah.
don't ever do a tape fix actually over there, and the cost, the finances, they always will be there. So
Yeah.
discussing those things is not a bad idea.
Yeah, and again, it's everything has a price tag. Like every single thing, from conception to childbirth to sending that child to college, getting them married, everything has a price tag in between.
During a pregnancy, I don't even remember like how many times we went to like OB, MFM, this, that. I mean, every week we used to be in hospital like 3 days, maybe 2 to 3 days at least.
And that's the thing. That's the thing. I definitely need to talk about this because the cost of pregnancy alone
Mm-hmm.
is unimaginable for a lot of people. And this depends on insurance coverage. I'm not saying that this is the exact one, but if you don't have insurance coverage, you're going to be paying out of pocket
Mm-hmm.
a lot. And like I think for vaginal birth, the average, and I'm not just saying like the most, is I'm saying average, is the average cost according to the HCCI is around $11,453 for vaginal birth, and somewhere between $17,000 to $27,000 for cesarean births. And this is not including any complications, any additional services you need. If it does not include preterm birth, conditions and things like that. And to your point, nobody knows about our struggle during our pregnancy. We're not people that are very vocal about talking about our problems. We do vent out to people that we're very close to and that visit us regularly, but we don't vocally talk about it to the point that people know what we're going through. Like on social media, people see my posts and they're like, oh, she's pregnant, she didn't say anything, she must be doing well. No, I was doing terrible.
Mm-hmm.
My pregnancy was terrible. Nobody knew about it because I did not talk about it. And to your point, I had to go to a maternal fetal medicine doctor, which is a high-risk pregnancy doctor. I am type 2 diabetic, so I have a very high-risk pregnancy. No, it's not gestational diabetes. Gestational diabetes is a different scenario where, yes, you do have similar complications, but if you have diabetes from beforehand, then the complications are double because you have to be on insulin constantly from before pregnancy as well. You can't take strong medicines to control your insulin and your sugars, and so you have to rely on a very, very strict diet. For me, whatever I used to eat, I used to think like, oh, how much is this gonna raise my sugars? And so I didn't eat a lot. And I would constantly be in this conscious fear that, okay, if my sugar goes above average, then it's going to affect my baby. So I was under a lot of mental pressure. And then, like you said, we were going to the MFM as well as my OB and a lot of other visits in between. So we used to travel 1 hour to each appointment, 1 hour back. And we used to be in the hospital 3 days a week, starting from my 6th month of pregnancy. So that's a lot of visits, and I'm sure that it costs us a lot of money. I never asked you, but you were really good at handling those. But I know that it was expensive. I know that each and every visit cost us a lot of money.
Yeah, MFMs are really, really expensive. I mean, it's kind of needed. Like, they do like a rigorous scanning and
They
stuff. They make sure that each and every body part of the kid is safe and sound. And they even make sure that, they check his face and all those stuff. So they charge for a reason.
Yeah.
But the charge is a lot. It's a ginormous amount of money that we have to spend. And again, like if you have to spend everything from your pocket, if you don't have proper insurances and stuff, the out of pocket will be obviously huge. And like the people who are not financially fit, right, they'll still pay it. It's not like they can't. You have credit
But they'll
cards,
be in debt, right?
Exactly. You have like zero API cards and all those stuff. They can.
I mean, no matter how many
But
credit cards you have, you'll still be in debt.
Eventually, you have to pay the money back. It's one or other time you have to pay back.
Yeah.
You can just keep on circulating like 20 different cards.
Yeah.
But still, one day that comes, like you have to pay the money back, and there is no way that you can, pay back that money. Let's say, and you'll end up in financial debt. And finance is such a sensitive subject, I can say. People don't realize like it's a very like important thing. They think like, oh, what money? Yeah, it comes and goes. No. Money won't just come and go. You have to keep your, sorry for the language, but you have to keep your ass down there and rub it very badly to make that money.
Yeah.
Right? So
you have to burn it.
You have to burn it basically, like to make that money.
Yeah.
And if you just say that finance is not important actually over there, get into a scenario where you are like broke down situation. Let's say we are there. We have no money. Like back then, back in India, it's very hard for us to meet the basic expenses. So get to that stage and you will know the value of money.
Yeah.
Right? And if you don't have money, you cannot practically breathe. In certain parts of the world, people buy oxygen too. They buy oxygen. They don't breathe oxygen. So if you think the financial health is not important in terms of getting a child up and running and stuff, for me you are like one of those dumb guys.
Yeah, I mean, especially in abroad, you definitely need financial stability to have a child. If, again, like, it's not that we're judging anybody that has done that. Like my parents, for example, they were financially struggling and they had both of us at very early on. I'm not judging them for it, but we're just presenting like the reality of what it is today and the level of pressure that couples are going through right now. There needs to be that reality check that there's a reason why people are holding off on having kids.
I just say like, whoever is asking you to have a kid, just ask them to pay the money.
Yeah.
Just get me a big fat check, man.
Yes.
I'm good with that.
Yeah.
Just
I mean, ask them to pay the money,
sure.
Ask them to give support, ask them to pay like the child care bills or whatever, and you're set. If you have that resource, awesome. If you have like parents that are coming and going, awesome. I mean, do it. I mean, who am I to judge that?
Exactly.
But again, like if you don't, and if your parents or whoever's pressuring you is not willing to do that, then it's none of their business.
Yep.
It's the couple's decision. They are important people in your life. They are key people, and they did do sacrifices. They did provide to you, but they don't get to dictate your life and how you raise your children.
Yeah, and eventually, my advice to anyone over there, let's say, prioritize yourself before anyone over there.
Yeah.
Because think for a second. if you are not existing in this world, does everything that you build matters?
Yeah.
Does your like $100 million that is sitting in your bank account, does that matter really?
Yeah.
No, because if you're going to die, if you're going to have health problems, if you're going to face some serious mental health crisis actually over there, none of those people who are judging you and talking to you will come and help you out over there.
Yeah.
You are your helper, you are your dictator,
Yeah.
you are your mentor.
Yeah.
So prioritize yourself. I know it's sometimes people think I'm selfish actually over there, but I can clearly say that like I even prioritize myself before my kid and you and anyone over there, because my idea is very simple. If I die tomorrow, you guys will be done,
That's it. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
right? So simple as
Even
that.
if I do have a job, even if we do have some sort of support in the back, it's still going to go downhill.
The family is
in
going to
some way.
break, and
Yeah.
and it takes years. And I mean, I've seen people in my family going through these things.
Yeah.
So I got a realization in my head, like what happens when the head of the family, dies and stuff, and there is no way to fix it.
Yeah.
Even years after they leave over there is still a very big gap that has to be filled over there,
Yeah.
and no one can fix it except but that person over there.
Yeah.
So prioritize yourself. Then if you're good and fine, if your mental health is good and fine, if physical health is good and fine, go for kids.
Yeah.
But again, before everything, there's a dollar bill that comes into place.
Yeah.
So don't get into like these hasty decisions and judgmental people and everything.
Yeah.
They won't come and help you out over there. Even though they come here and help you out, it's going to be like temporary, very very temporary, and when the time comes, they will just leave you high and dry, and you'll be suffering the whole situations.
Yeah, and to your point, like, it's not that we're doing this after having our child in like some like hypocritical state. Like, it's not that at all. We love our child. Like, he is the love and light of our life, and there's a reason why we had him. There's a reason why we decided to have him after 7, 8 years of being married, right? But the struggle that we went through to have him, to bring him into this world, and to this day still, like, having him grow healthy is not easy. And without support, without like proper resources, we're navigating through it and learning as we go. And so I think the fact that we're seeing so many people around us that are suffering through the same similar path, it may not be the same circumstances, it breaks my heart, because we've been there, right? We've seen all of it. It may not seem like it to others. It may not seem like we didn't suffer or struggle. And to those people, I don't want to really respond, but because they don't know us, they don't know our life, they did not see it up close. But those who did see our life up closer, those who have heard it from us, know how much we have suffered through that process. And I think our intention is that if you do eventually want to have kids, it's fine whenever you make that decision. Like, if you want to have them immediately, great. If you're healthy, if you're capable, if you're well off and things like that, if you have support, great, do it. But if there's couples that are holding off because of these things, they're thinking about these things, don't judge them, don't resent them, don't like pressure them into doing it and then making them regret later.
Yeah, and to that point, actually, there's a slight difference between suggesting something and pressuring something, right?
Yeah.
So if someone is suggesting you like, hey, you know what, you guys can have kids because of your age factor or financial factor or whatever that is, it's good. But again, don't get into their life and say, hey, you know what, this is the time you guys need to have kids. Why are you not having kids? What is the problem? Are you having a health issue?
Or
Blah
giving
blah blah.
ultimatums like,
Yeah,
you better have kids within like some amount of time.
and I feel that don't get into their personal space. Don't just make your way into their personal space. Talk to them, suggest them, and just leave it. It's ultimately their choice, what they want to do. It's their life, what they want to do.
Yeah.
If you want to be a good helper, that's all you need to do.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. And I think that's what healthy relationships are, right? Understanding boundaries, understanding,
Yep.
even if it is your child, even if it is your children that are making these decisions, boundaries are existent to you too.
Yep.
Because it's their life. Once they are married, regardless if it's your son or daughter, once they are married, they are having a separate life. They have a separate family that they need to nurture and grow, because it's going to affect the next generations as well. Just like you raised your child, you may have gone through some things with your in-laws or society, but your generation, your meaning, our parents and grandparents, their generation must have been different because they were trained not to think about those things, and they were going about their life with less complications than what we have right now. So it was hard for them, but also it wasn't as complicated because they weren't thinking about all of these aspects at that point in time. But we are in a generation, we and our future generations are in a state where we have to think about these things, especially given where we're at, what sort of generation we're in, what sort of life we're leading. Without careers, there's no income, there's no stability to a household, and it's hard because like in our case, we get judged every day, right? Because we both have jobs. We started sending him to daycare at 9-10 months, and people started questioning, why can't you just, like me, like, why can't you just quit your job and take care of your child yourself, right? And it's not simple because we have so many expenses from our delivery, and because of my health issues, I chose not to give that burden to you. And I want to support this family as much as you're supporting this family. It's not, I want to be independent, I want to spend my money as much as I want. It's not that at all. It's that if you get to pay the medical bills, I get to pay like some of the EMIs or his daycare costs or his medical bills or whatever it may be, to help share that income is our point. That's our choice. And for people to judge that was very harsh on us as well. And like I said, society, no matter what you do, they will judge you. They will say things, and they will make you feel bad no matter what good things you achieve. Like if you get married, people are going to say this and that. If you have kids, they're going to say this and that. If you have a job, they'll say this and that. Like, because that's just how society mentality is. Nobody's going to be satisfied with you no matter what you do, including your parents.
Yep.
No matter what you do, there will be like one thing that they will always find that is not enough. And that shouldn't define your path forward.
Yep.
Right? And so my advice is just, if you want to have kids earlier on, great. Plan it out. Do whatever you need to do. Take care of your health and prioritize these 3 things, and you're good. And let's say if you are waiting to have kids, or if you don't want to have kids, that's fine too. That's completely up to you. That is completely your choice. And nobody has a say to say that you, or nobody has a say to say otherwise. Like they're not paying your bills. They're not looking after your health like you are. They're not running around like you are. So just live your life the way you want to. Respect them, because especially if they're family, respect them, respect what they're saying, and respectfully just say no and leave it. But yeah, it's your lives. You decide what you want to do, and reach out to us if you have any stories yourself that you want to share. If you want to share your experiences, you can DM us on Instagram. We have a website where we have a form that you can submit anonymously if you want to keep yourself anonymous. If you have any suggestions for us to speak about any topics down the line, we will be happy to take your input. And like I said, this journey that we're talking about is not us just talking about our problems, or not just us trying to take pity from the audience or whatever. It's more of sharing our experience, so that maybe one couple out of a million, there could be one couple that could say, hey, we relate to that. We're going through the same thing. And there might be one more couple that says, oh, they're probably doing the right thing, but we're doing something else. But we agree to their point, Or someone may not agree to our point and they have a different perspective on things. Share that. We would love to talk about it. We would love to learn from you guys as we go through this